And we're back with another edition of the PCC Multiverse. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. It's truly a pleasure to be back with you once again. We are available each and every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Podcast Radio Network. And if for some reason you are not able to check us out on that great network, we've got quite a few more choices for you that you can go ahead and download the podcast or stream it right there. There's the ESO Network, the Tangibound Network, the Gonna Geek Network as well, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Mixcloud, TuneIn, and Podcast.com. We're on all of those great networks, all of those great audio outlets. You can just go ahead and just type in Pop Culture Cosmos on each and every one. You'll find all of our episodes from the PCC Multiverse and also Pop Culture Cosmos as well. We truly want to thank you for being a part of the broadcast today. And my good friend, well, he's back again. It's Josh Peterson, the man, the myth, the legend behind Humanican Media, with all the great stuff going on. How are you, my friend?
Good. See, you can't get rid of me. I'm kind of like the Pop Culture Cosmos when you search them on the internet. They're just stuck to everything.
Indeed. But it's great to have you back again for another edition of the PCC Multiverse. Before we get into some announcements I want to make, let's go ahead and check in with you as far as what's going on with Humanican Media.
There's a lot going on right now, actually. It's been a busy couple days, but the What About This podcast is now available on YouTube and Facebook, and I'm hoping to have it up on podcast.com and iTunes tomorrow. We're not available yet on as many sources as the Pop Culture Cosmos show, but hopefully one day. And we are actually going to be on the Pop Culture Cosmos show soon here.
Well, actually, you're going to be on. We're going to play on tonight's episode. We are going to play a little bit segment from What About This, so we'll definitely be able to play that on the air for you this evening. Just a few minutes to give you a taste of what the show is going to be like.
Boom, there you go. You guys are in for a treat. And tomorrow premieres the brand new episode of Ghost Toasters. So if you guys have been following that at all, you know it's a fake paranormal investigation show where it's just a bunch of characters, kind of goofy, and this one has got a lot of production put into it, so it's not just it's just as ridiculous as the other ones, as like ridiculous funny, but it's it looks a lot better. So I would definitely recommend watching it. I appreciate any of the views you get.
Awesome indeed. Definitely looking forward to that when it goes up, like you said, on Friday as well. We were talking about the Super Bro Station Gamescast. They're going to be coming up a little bit later in the episode as well, featuring you as far as one of the three guys behind it. You guys are coming up a little bit later in the broadcast with a little bit from that as well. We also got the Wine, Women, and Words. The ladies are going to be talking to V.E. Vewlett about her new book, Golden Dragon. We also have, one of the many interviews I did at CES. This one is from Fit and Life that I did regarding their awesome fitness trackers. And then we're also going to be talking about later on in the episode about the Oculus Rift price drop, the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, the end of Hellboy 3, and also the Xbox Game Pass. But first, I wanted to make a couple of quick announcements. First off, I got an apology I did an Oscar snafu of my own this week when on the Monday episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos, I mistakenly said that Ryan Gosling won the award when actually it should have been Casey Affleck. So I truly apologize.
Wait. This is like deja vu. You mistook La La Land actor for something else?
That's correct. So it was a mistake on my part. Well, you didn't catch it either, so that's what no help on there, man. What's up with that?
I was just caught up in the thrill of the Oscars. That's the most exciting night of the year. You just get to gather around the television, listen to celebrities talk about politics, and wear clothes that we'll never be able to afford. I just got too caught up in the moment. I'm sorry.
No, fair enough. It was my fault indeed, but I wanted to go ahead and make a correction on that. We also wanted to announce our newest sponsor. Well, our great sponsors, Retro City Games and also Rob McCallum Films, have done an outstanding job of giving us a hand as far as helping out the podcast in all of its glory. I want to go ahead and give a special welcome to, well, I'll let Josh explain because we're so honored to have our newest sponsor, Always Green Synthetic Turf and Putting Greens.
Yeah, he's decided to come on board, help us out a little bit, and we'll be advertising him quite a bit. So if you're on our social media pages, you'll probably be every now and then bombarded with fake grass commercials and different kinds of advertisements of that type. And we are super appreciative. So if you are in the SoCal area, please give Oscar a call. We'll have the number up here somewhere eventually.
Well, they're going to hear the ad right here coming up in the show. And if you are in the Southern California area and you are looking to go ahead in a way to beautify your home even better and also make it more practical, more fun for the kids and the pets. And if you're a golfer, want to work on your putting green in the backyard a lot, you want to always check out Always Green Synthetic Turf and Putting Greens, because I'm telling you what, they do a great job. If you check out their site, always at aggrass.com, I believe. And then
agsgrass.com.
agsgrass.com. They do a great job of showing you exactly what everything looks like, and they cover the entire Southern California area. So just we'll have some more information on how to give them a call later upcoming in the show as well. So we're truly thankful and congratulate and welcome Always Green Synthetic Turf and Putting Greens to our show as well. Very, very happy to have them on board indeed, and look for a long and fruitful partnership on all of our shows and programming from Humanity Media and Pop Culture Cosmos. And then last but not least, we wanted to announce a contest. Again, we mentioned it briefly at the end of our Monday show, but if you'd like our Facebook page at Pop Culture Cosmos, that's Pop Culture Cosmos on Facebook. If you like it, from any time you hear this right now, going here in March up to March 18th at 11:59 p.m., so just before the 19 strikes. If you go ahead and like our Facebook page at Pop Culture Cosmos, you are in the running for a grand prize of a copy of, well, probably one of the most anticipated games to come out outside of the one we're going to be talking about here in a minute. It's Mass Effect Andromeda. So we're giving away a copy of Mass Effect Andromeda. It's going to be shipped to a lucky resident in the continental United States that goes ahead and gives us a like on Facebook at Pop Culture Cosmos. So, but I want to thank Josh for coming up with the idea on that. So definitely looking forward to indeed. So it's going to be another great program. Like I said, we got a lot of great things on tap, but let's get into it right now when we talk about the Nintendo Switch, because if you're listening to this, you've already gotten probably a taste, whether either it's video, watching, or even playing the unit itself. The Nintendo Switch is now out in the wild for everyone to see, hear, taste, and feel, and all that good stuff. And with it comes expectations in regards to sales, in regards to how well it will connect with audiences. And I know over the past few weeks, we've talked with various people. Josh and I weighed in with our own thoughts about the Nintendo Switch. And now we're looking into as far as projections made by the financial sector about the Nintendo Switch. And well, one of the probably the most well-known analyst companies, Superdata, recently put out numbers that they project 5 million units to be sold by the end of the year, which to some may be a lot, but overall is not going to be a large amount of units sold for this year as compared to the PS4 or Xbox One when they were in their first roughly 9 months of actually sales as well. So I ask you, Josh, with all that in play and all of the things as far as the issues, the concerns, but also the good stuff, because let's just put it out there right now. Zelda Breath of the Wild, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has really garnered some rave reviews, actually some of the best reviews of all time. Metacritic has actually given it a right now in the high 90s, and with virtually almost universal praise. as for the game as being truly a great adventure indeed. But to me, it has so, like I've said in the past, it has so many similarities to Xbox in that it right now the system is a one game deal as far as you buy the game and that's pretty much it for right now. So I ask you, is 5 million units, is that something that's a little bit short-sighted on Super Data's part, or is it something that might be right on the money or even a little bit higher than what you expect?
I don't know. I honestly, like, I don't think that the Nintendo Switch is going to sell as well as people are predicting it is. Because yeah, they have Zelda. It's just it's one game, but there's like I know a lot of people who had it pre-ordered and they went out when they heard about the lack of Virtual Console. They went out and they sold their pre-orders. So I don't think that's gonna. I think it's gonna sell a lot, and we'll see. Like come holiday season, maybe there'll be like a price drop or something. But right now, I don't think that. I think people are interested in it, but I don't think like you're going to be getting a lot of like Sony and Microsoft console fans over to purchase that many units because you really need to take an audience from those two consoles and bring them into Nintendo for that in order to reach those types of numbers.
Well, I'll say this. I have not been, again, I've said this on many occasions, but I've not been the most ardent Nintendo supporter over the years. But I am actually very happy that the Nintendo Switch is getting a game, at least right off the bat, that people are going to remember for a long time to come, and very favorably as far as The Legend of Zelda is concerned. And
yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm like not happy about it. Like it's just I personally, it's not enough for me to go out and want to buy one.
And nor me, and nor neither I myself as well, because it's not definitely just one game has to be able to be more for me to buy a system. And then also at the price tag involved, it's makes it even harder for individual gamers out there or the casual audience to get it. Because we were talking last week, I was talking to DJ Medina, and also I was talking to Wayne Fernandez, and I've talked to you as far as 400, 450. The price tag goes to almost $500 when you need to buy the necessary accessories and games to actually support your buying the actual system itself. Now, the Nintendo Switch, reviews have come in that it's a work in progress, but they see the potential in the unit itself being something that long term could make out better than the Wii U by a substantial margin, which is very promising indeed. There's some issues and concerns and problems with it now, but it looks like if they give Nintendo time that they will be able to fix it hopefully rather quickly. I think they should have waited maybe till holiday this season. Maybe that extra six months might have garnered them a little bit better as far as the overall system is concerned, would have given them a larger launch lineup, and then also would have given them the obviously the Legend of Zelda, but also would have possibly even given them Mario as a launch title as well. But that's neither here nor there. The game and the system is out in the wild, so we truly hope for the best for Nintendo on that. I really think it's going to maybe do a little bit higher than 5 million units. Personally, I think that it will catch on at least a little bit as far as name value is concerned. I think that right now The Legend of Zelda is going to go a long way because it's getting so much universal praise. So we'll see come August, September, October, the kind of support it gets, and also the MPD numbers, if they're going to be backing it up. So it's definitely something we want to stay tuned indeed, and we'll be checking that out constantly and providing you updates as that goes along. So coming up after the break, we got a great show lined up for you again, like I was saying. But first off, we're going to start off with the ladies from the Wine Women Awards, and then we got a lot of great stuff to talk about ourselves, and also mix in a lot of the great things that is pop culture cosmos and the universe, including Humanican Media and all that. And we truly appreciate you listening. Before we head on out to our break, any last thoughts, Josh, on the Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, it's like it. Sorry, it's a really cool console, and I'm sure people are really excited about it. But my big concern with it is that just because it's so underpowered, I'm afraid that like when E3 rolls around, when these new games and holiday season drops and all these new games start coming out for Xbox and PlayStation, the real like question here of the Nintendo success is going to be, are people going to be still interested enough in an underpowered console to set aside the games on these higher powered consoles to go back and play them? That's going to be the predictor of how well the Switch does in the long run.
Those are definitely good points indeed. So I have to check out and keep an eye on everything, because with Xbox, the Project Scorpio also coming out later this year, which will be the most powerful console unit on the market, it definitely will garner some interest from hardcore gamers as well. So we'll be definitely keeping an eye on that. Want to thank you for tuning in. We got a great episode, so stay tuned to all that's good with us right here on the PCC Multiverse. We'll be right back. And we're back with it. And we're back with the PCC Multiverse. This is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We want to truly thank you for listening. I'm here with my good friend, the man, the myth, and legend behind Humanican Media, and also Pop Culture Cosmos, true and tried. Well, I want to say that the man also as well that helps Pop Culture Cosmos run. It's Josh Peterson. He's working hard as far as all the different projects that he's doing. You want to check out his stuff on Pop Culture Cosmos and also Humanican Media as well. So I want to talk a little bit about the Oculus Rift. And as far as, they've had a little bit of trouble lately, not uber trouble, but, that's a pun in there in and of itself. But I want to talk about the Oculus Rift. They recently got out of litigation with obviously some competitors that they had an issue with regards to having paid out over $500 million to Bethesda and whatnot in regards to the stealing of secrets and things of that nature. They're trying to get over that. And what better way to do that than a price cut? So they recently cut the actual unit itself, the Oculus Rift, and also the hand controllers. They've also cut those as well, the Oculus Touch, for pretty much an over $200 in upwards of almost $300 price cut. So I ask you, the HTC Vive is not doing anything as far as a price cut at this time. So they don't seem to be too concerned as far as the price drop for the Oculus Rift. When you see a dramatic price cut like this, what are your thoughts in regards to how Oculus is now handling the situation and the virtual reality market as a whole when you see some red flags thrown up like a big price cut like this?
I think they overestimated their market a little bit, because people, while VR is a cool concept, but what was it at that E3, Microsoft's demo, was it AR, I think it was called, when she had the Minecraft up on the table and all that? I think that people are more interested in something like that as opposed to, having
the augmented reality, correct?
Yeah, the augmented reality. But I feel like people are more interested in that concept than they are the VR, because it's like, you can't, at the end of the day, you're paying a whole lot of money for something that doesn't really, there's not really any like great games on there to play. And like even the ones that you can get across console, why are you going to play something, in your head when you can just sit down on the couch and play it? For me, I think that VR is kind of like motion gaming. Everyone was like really stoked on it at first, and then it just kind of, they lost interest in it. And I think that's what's going on with Oculus. I could be wrong though. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I want to say that they just recently got out of the settlement. Like I said, they had to pay for over $500 million, or actually their parent company, Facebook, that bought them, if you remember, for $2 billion, I think back in the day, about 3 years ago, they bought them out. And then in that transition, I guess some secrets were stolen or whatnot from the involving ZeniMax, which is the parent company of Bethesda. And like I said, they had to pay them out $500 million. So that definitely hurts for Facebook. But is this a sign that they want to get out of the marketplace with Oculus Rift and maybe trend into something else? Maybe a sign, trying to make it more attractive to consumer audiences, but it doesn't seem to be going well. I do see them at major retailers getting some prime retail space, because that's obviously what Facebook can do with the kind of value and power that it has. But seeing a dramatic price cut like this so soon in the virtual reality wars, that tells me that the virtual reality signs that maybe outside of a certain instance with PlayStation VR, that sales are not being met, as far as at least for Oculus Rift. And I know that that's something that Facebook was probably not thinking was going to happen when they bought Oculus for $2 billion. Like I said, not too long ago.
They were
So
jumping on a trend. That was
yeah, they
that was
were
what they
jumping
were
on a trend.
doing.
They were trying to jump on it and then trying to capitalize on it. But I know PlayStation VR, I know PlayStation representatives have recently been quoted as saying that sales were exceeding expectations. I don't know how much I buy into that, because I really, outside of Doug, the owner of one of our sponsors, Retro City Games, it's kind of iffy whether or not that the sales for virtual reality are strong as a whole. But we'll have to wait and see on that one ish as well, because I don't know. I think Oculus Rift, it's a sign that they may be a little bit hurt. And if it doesn't straighten itself out by the end of the year, we could see actually one of those big three units between the Oculus Rift, Vive, and PSVR take quite a tumble, and maybe actually even Facebook getting out of the market eventually altogether. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I think there's a lot more interesting concepts on the horizon as far as like what Microsoft is doing with augmented reality. I think maybe that's where the future of this type of gaming is going. The VR is cool. I've played with it or on the the HTC. I know some
That's the
people who
Vive.
own that.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's cool, but I mean, it's kind of, it doesn't really have a whole lot to offer like hardcore gamers. I think that's what the VR is kind of aimed at.
I think so as well, because you really have to make a severe investment, whether you're buying the PlayStation VR, whether you're buying the Oculus Rift, or you're buying the HTC Vive. You have to make a serious commitment as far as cash is concerned. You have to really also be really in tuned and want to see the technology. It's not like the Samsung Gear or the Google Cardboard, which are under $100, which everybody can sit down like the commercial. Just sit around.
Right. And
Grandpa's watching it and all that, and the kids are watching it. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's great for an afternoon, and there you go.
And
The
let's not forget that gamers are stingy. Like, we have very limited limited resources, so we're not going to go drop $1,000 on something we aren't even sure we're going to enjoy.
Yes, and the Oculus Rift and the Vive need a powerful computer to drive that technology. And if you don't have it, guess what you got to do? You got to go out and buy a new computer as well. And with, well, what we said before in the previous segment, Nintendo set, the Nintendo Switch out as a new console, and the Project Scorpio on the way. That's those choices as far as dollars being allotted are getting quite out there, and gamers won't have, well, they'll have to make a choice, and maybe VR is not exactly the way they want to go unless there's really some killer app. And I don't really see a killer app that's going to power and drive sales for either one of these virtual reality units at this time. So maybe that will change, but at this point in time, I think virtual reality is not going to die a quick death or anything like that. But definitely the future of virtual reality is kind of shaky for me at this point in time. And I know it's definitely shaky for Oculus Rift if they make that kind of price cut. What are everyone's thoughts out there on virtual reality or anything else that we're talking about? You can just send us a line. Start off with our email address, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com, or you can also send us a tweet at popculturecosmo on Twitter. And also, you can go ahead and send us a message to our Facebook page. And if you like our Facebook page, Pop Culture Cosmos, from now until anytime 3/18/17, 11:59 p.m., you will be eligible to possibly win a copy of Mass Effect Andromeda. So you got to check it out. You can always send us a message there. You like all the stuff we do on there, because I'll tell you what, we do a great job as far as trying to get everybody the latest pop culture news and all the great information that comes from Pop Culture Cosmos. So when we return, this man is coming up again with as far as with his good friends of the Super Bro Station Gamecast. They're going to be talking as far as maybe a subject that isn't approached always in regards to maybe that they should check out a little bit more often in regards to Twitch streaming and the health concerns that people should have about those long streams. And those guys are going to talk about it next right here on the PCC Multiverse. All right, and we're back with the PCC Multiverse. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. You want to check out our great sponsors, indeed, with Always Green Synthetic Turf and Putting Greens. They're awesome indeed. You want to check out agsgrass.com. That's agsgrass.com. Also, Rob McCallum Films, robmccallumfilms.com. You want to check out all the latest stuff that he's got going on there. And of course, Retro City Games on Facebook. You want to go ahead and check out everything that they've got going on because they're the leaders in gaming in Southern Nevada. Well, Josh, I appreciate, just before we came back on here for the final segment, we were talking about all the stuff that's going on. We've talked a great deal today about the Oculus Rift price drop, and we also talked earlier about what's going on the Nintendo Switch and Shadow of Mordor, and also as well we talked about Hellboy 3 and whatnot. But before we get into it, and then thanks so much also for Humanican Media to allow us to go ahead and play Super Bowl Game Station podcast and What About This? But want to ask you a quick question. Have you heard as far as the recent announcement by Xbox in regards to the Gaming Pass, the Xbox Game Pass?
Yeah, I just read about this morning. I'm actually pretty stoked on it because personally, like I don't have like the funds to go out and buy every video game that comes out, and it's unfortunate, but that's just a fact of life. So I like the idea of being able to go. Because they're supposed to have like a huge catalog, just about quite a few like Xbox 360 and Xbox One games.
Well, let me let everybody know out there. The Xbox Game Pass was announced this week as that's something that's going to be coming in the near future. The Xbox Game Pass is a $9.99 a month service. It's a streaming service similar to Netflix and whatnot, and Utomic, who've been on one of our shows before. That is going to be dealing with as far as pretty much right around 100 of great titles within the Xbox One library that are either backwards compatible or actual Xbox One titles that you can play off their streaming service. So it's a little bit differentiating than what PlayStation Now does, and obviously the adding of current Xbox One titles that have been released with the Xbox One system. Such as Halo 5 has been rumored, and different games from within recent years that have been on the Xbox One will be part of the program. It'll also alternate. They'll alternate some titles in and out on a month by month basis. But your thoughts on that a little bit more? I know you said you were excited to hear that it's going to be coming and available, and as someone that's very interested. But what do you see the future as far as what are you looking at with an Xbox Game Pass? Is this something that you're going to be able to use use constantly? And then are you worried about the titles not being recent or good enough for you to go ahead and keep on a regular basis?
I honestly, I don't think that they are going to put new games up there, at least not for a while. They'll let it run its, give it a few months before they throw it up there, because that would be a poor marketing decision. But I like the idea of having access to a back catalog of games, because I don't always get to play the ones that I would like to play, just because there are so many games out now, and we discuss this a lot on the Super Bro Station Games cast. There are so many games out there, and they literally take forever to play. So you can, you're spending hours on these games while other games are coming out, and you're missing the ones you want to play. So I like the idea of having this streaming service that lets you go back and play these games without having to go and purchase them, because you might not like it enough to go out and spend, $50-$60 on it. So you have the option of, for $10 a month, you have the option of playing it, and you can download as many as you want at a time. But I think And you get it for a discount. I know if you buy it, if you rent it, you like it, you buy it, you get it at a discount, and you
20% discount as well.
20% discount. And that's a bargain. I mean, that's that's an incentive in itself. And you also, I don't know what the rules are though. I know you have access to multiplayer, but only if you have Xbox Live Gold. I know if you're not,
that's
you can only
correct.
do single player.
Yes, you can use the single player if you have the service, but if you have Xbox Live with Gold, you're also able to access the multiplayer of each of those games that you streamed. So let's say Halo 5 is on the list as far as going ahead and being able to download it. You'll be not only be able to play that wonderful campaign, which everybody loves so much, and I'm being facetious when I say that, but you also be able to play the great multiplayer if you have the Xbox Live service, of course. And then they said the Xbox Live games with Gold, the free games that come every month with Xbox Live, that service and that option will be still continuing and will be separate from the actual Xbox Game Pass. So I know a lot of people were kind of interested. A lot of gamers were interested when the Xbox Game Pass announced. I know PlayStation needs to go ahead and reevaluate PlayStation Now. That's a given, because none of the titles that they have currently are from the current PlayStation 4 system that they utilize, which I think is to their detriment. And plus also the way it streams, instead of downloading straight to your Xbox One like the Xbox Game Pass does, PlayStation Now just is like a constant stream, which can provide some latency and hiccup issues now and then. So I know that's kind of something that they need to revisit as far as making PlayStation Now a better option for gamers, because it looks like Xbox Game Pass has them one up at this point in time. And then other game streaming services, Utomic that we just interviewed, and there's also several others which may be adversely affected as well. I know the stock market, upon news of the Game Pass, shot down GameStop. Their stock tumbled quite dramatically upon news of the Xbox Game Pass. So even they are affected, and a lot of people are very interested to see exactly the titles that are going to be made available on a regular basis for the system. So any last thoughts on the Xbox Game Pass before we head on out?
No, I think it's a great idea. It'll be interesting to see how many, because like Utomic you were talking about, it'll be interesting to see how many companies going forward are going to start creating things like this. Because you saw once Netflix took off, the streaming service, like the amount of streaming like websites and apps, it skyrocketed. So it'll be interesting to see like what business models take, or what businesses take this model, and then how it affects places like GameStop, like one of the last few places around where you can walk in and physically pick up a copy of a game that's like 10 years old.
Or from our great sponsor, Retro City Games. But anyways, sorry for the cheap plug there. Want to go ahead and again, just tell everybody out there, if you have not caught our Monday show, the Pop Culture Cosmos show, Monday nights, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. It's a great program. It has us each and every week. That's our main program that we've been going on now for months, and it just seems like each show seems to be hopefully getting better and better as far as the audience reception is concerned. So we're truly thankful in that indeed. And then again, thank our sponsors, Rob McCallum Films. You want to check out all of his great stuff and all the things that he's working on at robmccallumfilms.com. Retro City Games, again, the leaders in gaming in Southern Nevada, Retro City Games on Facebook. And then our newest sponsor, if you have, like I said, a yard that you want to go ahead and remodel, a front yard, you want to go ahead and do some serious revising and landscaping of your home and make it much more beautiful than it is now, you want to check out Always Green Synthetic Turfs and also putting greens, and they do a lot of other stuff as well. So you want to check that out. agsgreens.com, right? agsgrass.com.
But honestly, like their stuff, have you seen the pictures? Like I've seen some of it in real life. It actually looks really good. You cannot tell the difference between a their lawns and something that's real.
Definitely, it's something to check out. Indeed, if you're in the Southern California area, it's agsgrass.com. That's agsgrass.com, or you can check out our where we gave the information. And if you have any questions on it, you can also go ahead and send us a note. Pop Culture Cosmos on Facebook, at Pop Culture Cosmos on Twitter, or send us an email, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. And don't forget, we're doing a giveaway of Mass Effect Andromeda. You just go ahead and like our Facebook page from now until the 18th, and you'll be eligible to win that grand prize. We're going to give away one, so can't give it away to everybody. We apologize, but we're going to give it away fairly to one individual.
But by entering your name, by liking our page, you have a chance to win this great prize.
That's correct. You have a chance to win, and then also you're going to get all the great pop culture news that is from Pop Culture Cosmos.
And that's even better than Mass Effect in some cases. So
yes,
it's a win-win pretty much.
So before we head on out, Josh, have you got any updates? Again, like I said, for people who have not checked out Humanican Media.
Yeah, please. I mean, if you like some of the stuff that you're hearing on the Pop Culture Cosmos show, you can hear more of it from my side of it with the. If you check out my Facebook page and YouTube at Humanican Media, we have a Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to do. We have, you can watch What About, or listen to and watch What About This, the Double J Filmcast, Chad and Travis' musical show about music, the Super Bro Station Games Cast, and our hit show Ghost Toasters, which a brand new episode is premiering tomorrow on Facebook and YouTube. So please check it out. It'll be up probably around noon. And we appreciate everything you do for us, like both Humanican and Pop Culture Cosmos. The more you guys follow us, the more subscriptions and likes we get. I know it in some cases it's petty asking for it, but the more stuff that allows us to get into, so we can keep delivering to you up to date news on like all your favorite tech stuff, games, sports, even like every little bit helps. And it's you're not donating money, you're just giving us a reputation, so we appreciate it.
And as our audience builds, also, like I said, like you said, more good stuff that's going to happen as far as more projects, more podcasts, more videos, possibly even more contests down the road. We've already done 2 already. This will be our second one, so hopefully we'll be able to do a few more before the year's on out, but that's all up to you. So spread the word about Pop Culture Cosmos and Humanica Media. So once again, we truly appreciate you joining us on the PCC Multiverse. For Josh Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. We thank you so much for listening and delving into the PCC Multiverse. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the PCC Multiverse. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.